Hey campers, George here, back in the man cave. I just realized I committed to members. I gotta put more videos out. I got it. But I do have this guy, kind of beat up. It's a distraction. Let's check it out. So it's this guy. See that? He's kind of beat up. To be honest, I originally thought when I first saw it, and I think I got this in a dollar box, was a box of bones that somebody was selling $1 a piece for, and I thought, yeah, it's pretty rusty and whatnot, but you know what? It's got a cool handle. Look at that, right? Is that not a cool handle? So you know me and handles. Here we go. Then I opened it up. Oh, the humanity. Now I can clean these blades up, okay, but their shape is not so good, especially this guy. That's the all. Ha! Well, what's left of it. Kind of rusty inside, a little beat up, rust everywhere. But the handle is in pretty good shape. No cracks, no breaks, a little bit of denting, and it has a shield. So here's what I'm thinking. I found this, but it kind of sort of matches the all on the old guy. And then I found this guy. See this? It's an old Barlow. It's an Imperial. Blades are in pretty good condition. See that? Right? Missing half the handle. But you know what? This is a pretty common Barlow out there. And yeah, I have two of them just like this. And I thought, you know what, the handle's missing. We're not going to miss the blades on this one. See it there? Blades are in really good condition. So I think I'm going to borrow the blades from here and use this one here and put it on this one here. Let's fix this guy. Let's just pull him apart and give him all new hardware. This could turn out to be a beauty if everything goes well. And we all know how that goes. So let's have at it. Okay, see, here we are. We got this guy, rusty, and we got parts. First of all, I'm gonna make sure I can get these, and we have them, and then we'll take this totally apart because we're gonna put it all back together again, and hopefully this will turn out nice. The first thing I want to do is take the scales off because I want to put them in my bag of bones. Because you never know, you might need them. So these are clamshells, as you know, they're kind of different. It's really hard to put a handle on because of the shape of this. You got to make it fit on there. So first thing we have to do with the clamshells is you can see the little clips here, and on the back you always take them off from here. So we got to open these clips up and then pop it off without breaking the clips. First thing you want to do is at least warm them up, because when they're cold and you start bending them, there's a chance of breaking them. So I'm going to get my warmer upper out. We'll do that and then pop them off. I use this guy from Chandler Tools. It's just a heat gun, fairly inexpensive, and I use it to do handles and things like that when I'm putting vinyl handles on. So you put them on and then you use this to seal them on. But I also use them to heat stuff up. It's not very hot, but it'll warm it up just perfect to fiddle for a treat. It's only time she'll come in. Got this warmed up now. Don't want it too hot that you can't touch it. And there is the boss. So what I'm going to do now is I have this little screwdriver, just a small flat, and I'm going to try and hook these clips and bend them up slowly. Don't know why she drinks that. It sits there all day, but apparently it's for her. So I've got to catch these somehow. Ooh, they're in there really good. Oh boy. There we go. See that? It's lifted. Let's try and get it over there. You don't want to bend them too much. You can see it pops off. And then you can slide it back and you can see the other clip there. So that's one. I'll take the other one off and let's get the blades out. So there it is there, and she's still drinking. So I'm not worried about damaging anything here. I'd rather not cut through. I'm not a big fan of using the razor blade to cut the pins. When you have the scale still on, you don't want to do that because there's a chance that it'll split and break the scales. But like this, all I'm going to do is, you can see on one side how big the pin is, and on the other side not so much. So I'm just going to grind these down and hopefully pop it off. Safety glasses and gloves is a good thing. Things tend to fly off. So let's get these off. Going to use my little Dremel. You know what? I'm going to file them first. Now you don't have to file all three. You could just take two off, and you could probably get away with just that pin and the blades will fall out. So it looks like it's popping through, so I'm going to give it a tap using my handy dandy vise. There you are, it came apart. So I'm going to do the other side. This middle, the spring pin, same thing. Got him. So this goes into the bag of bones. The nice thing is we got some good liners and springs, always important. Now after whining about cutting, gonna have to with this one. We want to take the whole thing apart. Using the Dremel and things like that, it slips a lot. You're going to damage the scales. That's the main issue, and it's not like we can file anything away. So we're going to cut through. We'll just have to be really careful. When you use these to cut through, just remember these are really sharp. They tend to be brittle, so banging, they may snap, pieces fly off, things like that. Gloves, safety glasses. Now the reason I have it set this way is look where it's in. It's right next to the liner. Not a lot of strength here. I'm not going to cut this side first because there's a chance of it splitting up and cracking the shield. So I'm going to cut the middle one first and then the outer ones so that it won't flex as much and break. That's the plan. Let's do that now. So you can see I have it sitting there, and I'm going to tap the top here. Now this is bolsters and that. You want to protect that. So I'm going to hold a piece of wood on the top there. Let me get you a better angle. And I'm going to slowly tap down. And hopefully we won't do any damage. Now we're up to the pin. When we're through. So now we're going to work our way up to the top pin, and no damage so far. Oh, the humanity, this makes me so nervous. It's where disaster happens. And there you go. So here you can see we cut through the two pins. Now interestingly, I didn't know, these are both brass pins. See that? Ha! They didn't look brass. So that's good because, you know, brass will go nice with this. So now I can get access to the pins here and punch them through. And we got to do this last one here to get the blades out. So I'll do that quickly, and then, so here we have it here. Now things you got to remember is where the blades are. And interestingly enough, the nice thing about these knives, and it's very typical, nail nick is on this side on the main blade and on that side on the pen blade. So you don't have to worry about the whole, can I get to the nail nick? So that's always a plus. Worry about bending. Look at that. The handle's bending. Got to be careful of that. So I put the knife back together, just using these little nails that I use. They're really handy. Put it back together. They're loose enough. You can put the springs in and everything. So here's the original layout. And you can see the main blade, the pen, and the awls. So I'm going to lay it out and replace them, and then we'll put it back together and make sure it looks the same, right? Okay, so here we have it all laid out in all its glory. We just got to replace the tools and put it back together, right? So we take that guy, this guy, that's a problem, nail nick, this guy, nail nick's correct. That's going to be a problem. So, going through my box of bits and pieces, these are the pen blades I found. This is the original, and the nail nick is on that side. All these, the nail nicks are on the wrong side. I found two. That kind of sort of, and I think that one's the best option. We can reshape him a little bit to turn him into a more like a pen blade. Now the nail nick's on the other side. Let's try that. So here we are here. Nail nick's on this side. Nail nick's on this side. Nail nick's on that side. Let it close up. Let's clean it up. We're going to go through everything with 1,000, 10,000 mothers. You know the story. This is 1,000. I'm going to do the 10,000 once I put it together. So I want to put it together, pin it, and let's see how we're doing. Okay. I got me some pins. I'm going to put brass pins in. And you can see I've filed one side flat. What I'm going to do is just tap them down to get a little bit of a peen over on it, so when I put them in they don't just fall straight through. It's kind of painful when that happens, and it's a good way to start on, so when you get the pin in, it's already started. So here you can see I've just given it a couple of 100,000 slight taps, and it's peening over so it won't fall through, and I'll do the rest. So as you can see here, I have those three little thin little nails, and they're loose in here. What that allows you to do is you can get everything together and see that it looks fine. Now we need to pin. That's another story. So what we're going to do is take this middle pin out and we'll pin these two outside ones. And another thing you need to do is, if you just sharpen up the other end that you didn't pin and give it a little bit of a rounded point. You don't need a lot. It just makes it go in easier. I'm just going to tape these together until I can get the two pins done. And what I'm going to do is take this pin out now, and hopefully we'll hold it together. And I'm going to put a piece of tape over this side because I'm going to pin this side first. And hopefully it'll keep the pin in there. I'm going to knock this one out, he says. We pinned one side, so when we put it in and hopefully it lines up, it's not going to drop through. So now we can start pinning. We're going to trim this one down. You got to put your, don't forget your gap. Trim this down and start pinning. I gave myself a little bit of room on both sides. Before you start pinning, flatten this out. And now we can start pinning. I'm actually going to use my vise, not this. My table bounces too much, so kind of makes pinning a little harder. Pinning hammer and this, and off we go. So I'm just going to hold it in there with my spacer there, and literally the weight of the hammer. It's not a very big hammer, it's a pretty small pinning hammer, and you want to make sure that you keep your pin upright, because if you bend it like that and it bends, you're going to move the whole knife. And all I'm doing is dropping it on. So you can see on the one that I originally pinned, I did some more on it now. When it goes in, it sticks up just a little bit. Can you see that? That's good enough. Problem I did was I didn't trim this guy enough. So I'm going to just snip it off, file it a little bit flat, and then pin him down. This is a good size. We've still got this to work with, which gives us that gap there. So you can tighten it up on here. It's not going to get too tight. And you just work both sides. You want the pins to look the same size both sides. So I'm pretty tight here. I can't move the blade, so that's good. When I pull this out, it's going to be loose and we can tighten up. But I want to put the other pin in first. When you've done that first pin, I've pulled the gap out, and it'll wobble a little bit. I want to leave it like that. But what you're looking for is when you look across here, make sure the ends are level. They're not sitting like this. Like this side is higher than that. If that's happened, you've probably bent the pin. So go slowly, there's no big rush. So now we got to do the same process again with this guy. And don't forget your spacer. Really important on the blades, you want to get that snap in them. These blades are dull, by the way. I did check them, I just didn't say anything, and I should have. Always check your blades so you know what you're dealing with. So now there we are there. Now, I've been, my pinning I really struggle with. I'm going to stop here, so there's actually a lot of gap. If you look here, this piece here is wider than down here. It's actually sitting at an angle. Not worried about that because I have plenty of room to work with, and these are still fairly loose. Gonna put that middle pin in and really pull it in tight so that it'll level out. So I've got my third pin, and if you remember, this is where we do some squeezing, just making sure everything looks like it's straight. Now this is an equal end jack, so I could just put it in there and squeeze it, but if you look, the blades are pretty close to there. I'm going to put it at an angle, get right there and squeeze right where that is. And now I'm going to squeeze it to get all those holes to line up. Be careful you don't mess up the whole point we're doing this. Now I'm going to see if I can get this guy to go in. Not quite. The knife keeps going at an angle. I want to keep that straight. Okay, we're through there. So we can work this. Yeah, that's not good. There we go. See how that moved? Can't get that because I got that gap. I made a boo-boo. A couple. Okay, a lot. We got to start again. So I took it apart. Here we are. Yep, all apart again. Why, you ask? Remember, I couldn't get it together. I couldn't get that pin in. There was something wrong somewhere. Look at these. They're different sizes, and some are bigger and some are not. See what I'm talking about here? These need to be made the same as these. The springs were just so tensioned because these were too big. We need to change them. So we're going to match them up. So what I'm talking about here is, the problem is the distance of where the hole is to the back. And if you look in here, these are different to these. We actually need to match those holes up, and now you can see there's a difference. It's not much, but it's enough to affect them springs, and they're also wider, deeper. I don't know what you call it. So we're just going to touch everything up. This is the main guy. Look at that. If I line these holes up, look at all that excess on the back here. It was actually pushing the spring right out of the knife. That wasn't good. So this needs to be cleaned up. Interestingly enough, this guy is actually smaller, and it didn't really affect anything. The two blades weren't that bad. So let's start scraping and filing and whatnot. So I just put the pin in this guy to give you an idea of just how bad it is. Okay, if I put this through the pin here and line it up, look how much sticks out there. So we got to get that all down. I'm going to do this. I won't do it on the camera. I'll just show you the end result, the cleanup and whatnot. So here you can see I've reduced them all. This is probably the most obvious one. It's going to take some cleanup on it, but I'm going to put it together just with the nails, and let's see how we're looking. Well, There we go. Let me pin it. Morning, campers. So here we are. I spent a long time on this guy. I had to modify all the stops. Explain. Here's the pen blade, the choil area and the ricasso. I had to file that down, especially here. On this one, it was just way too big and it stuck up. So I had to do that. I had to, on the back of the blades, on the tang of all the blades, I had to reshape them and get them as close as I could to these guys. It took a lot. I think I put it together 3 times. Fortunately, I didn't have to pin it. I could just put the pin material in there and check it. So at that point where just a little bit of stuff to do. Here it is here. You can see it there. The snap, the walk and talk is a little rough. Hopefully it'll wear in. Now I'm probably going to just reshape the tip here a little bit to make it more of a spear point like a pen would be. Otherwise everything else is good. This is at 1000. 1000 grit. I'll do the 10,000 on it, and then we'll put mothers on, and then we'll be ready to sharpen. Somebody asked me in the comments if I could show them how I'm doing the pen blade. It's not easy, even with the portable version, but I'll show you, and we'll see that, and then we'll be done. I probably will revisit this thing, probably take it apart again and do some minor changes, touch-ups to it, clean it up a little bit more, because after all the filing I thought I cleaned that up enough, but I don't. It's still scratchy. That will hopefully wear in and you won't get that scratchy feeling. The pinning, I feel I'm getting better at my pinning. It actually looks like they should be. So just clean up. We're going to do that now, and then we'll sharpen. Woot. So we're going to go over quickly with 10,000. Basically the 10,000 preps it for the mothers. So we took away a bit of the belly and made it a little bit more pointier, coming to a point. When we sharpen, it'll clean it up a little bit more. That's the theory anyway. Let me polish it some now and finish up. So here we are at 10,000. It's shining up nice. This is a tough fix. Needs a lot of work, but we'll do the best we can, right? That's all we can do. Boss is thirsty again. I don't know why she drinks out of that thing. So there you are. Shined up nicely. It was pretty beat up. So let's do some sharpening. So this one's done. Now somebody asked me about a smaller pen blade, and we can do that right now. I'll put it on there and I'll show you how I put it on. So here's my kind of sort of pen blade. Now I'm going to be taking a lot of steel off this because I've been filing it and whatnot. But you know, whatever you start with and go to, that's what you need to do. But when you mount these things, you have to have enough room between the edge of the blade and this, otherwise you're going to scrape scrape on this and not on the blade. I use 17 degrees. It's a safe degree for me. It works for everything. Folding knife, actually just about anything for me. You know, anything between 15 and 17 is good. 15, if you're going to be doing food prep, it gives you a sharper angle. So we got to put it in, and you want it sticking out as far as possible. The way I have it right now, you can see here, is about as far out as I can go. I'm barely holding it on. The only thing you're worried about is this, and I'm not deep enough. You see that? So I have to go deeper. But once you have it set there and it's tight enough, you don't need it to really screw it down. You just want it in there so that it's not going to move when you sharpen. So here I put it back on, and it's a little bit deeper here and less there, but it's not going anywhere. Now you want to make sure that when you put this on, let me see if we can show it here. The plate is going to be on the blade, not on here. And we've got plenty of room there. So now you can start sharpening if you have at whatever angle you have. Now you don't need to go crazy. You don't need to press hard or anything. You can, the plate will do the rest. I recommend you always use a black marker. You want to get a consistent grind on the end here so that it's even all the way along. And this will show you how you're doing. And you just work away at it. Now I'm doing it back and forth like this because I've got a lot to take off. Once I get close to an even grind on it, I then just go in one direction like this. Now a lot of the problem you're going to get is I'm touching here just at the point there, so be careful. You don't want to damage this or your plate, but if you go slowly you can get there. So I'm just going to get this down and then we'll finish it up. So I don't know if you can see it, but I've got a pretty even grind there, a little bit more here than there because the blade is curved. But remember, I've still got to do the other side so we can get more of this off and start to get it cleaner. So I went back and forth a couple of times, and now I'm getting a more even cleanup on here. It's still a little thinner here than there, but it's a lot closer. And I'm using 320, by the way, which is pretty heavy because I wanted to take a lot of steel off to at least start getting a reasonably flat edge. So now I'm going to go to 800. So I'm at 800 now. Now really this is going to take off that little curl and things like that, and it cleans the edge up. It's a lot finer. You don't have to do a lot with it. You know, 5 or 6 sweeps each side should be enough, he says. The little peel at the bottom is not bad. I'm going to take it off now and we're going to strop it. If you listen carefully to your strop, it'll sound a little rough, but as soon as you get that edge, it'll quieten up. Now, having said all this, I am no expert. Here's hoping it actually works. And there you have it. Now remember, a pen blade is not designed for heavy work. It's light, delicate. It was originally designed to clean the tip of a feather pen, whatever you want to call them things. So there you go. So here it is here. Shiny, sharp, and imperfect. Not my finest restore. However, it was in pretty bad shape, and replacing all the tools, because that's what we did, and we didn't replace them with exactly the same tools, which means I should have remembered that and modified them before putting it together, because I really struggled and wouldn't let it go together the way it should. It's a lot better now, and I literally had to take it apart 3 times and put it back together to make sure that it would go together. At one point, when I looked at it, and you looked at it here, the knife was almost bent. I thought the springs were bent. That's what it looked like. Took it all apart again, looked at everything, and it was straight, and I was like, I did something wrong there. And then went about filing, cleaning up, trying to get... It's a little rough still, but I think it's getting smoother. I did oil them, and you know, you can see it cleaned up nice with the blades. This handle is just, it's a beautiful handle. Look at that. Couldn't let this thing go to waste, right? You know, it works, not the best. And I think, you know, it was a pretty old knife. It was pretty rusty, and I think it'd been through the wars, and I struggled with it. I might just come back to this, take it apart again, and really fine tune it to see if I can get it to where it should be. But that's another story. But don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back. Had some concerns about the membership video. People got a little bit confused. They thought that I was gonna no longer put out videos to the regular subscribers and just do members. No. All the members, the membership is basically another way to support the channel. It'll bring a little bit more income in so that I can go out and do the vintage shopping and stuff like that with like Keith and people like that. And we go look for these guys and bring them home, and then we can clean them up. You know, go camping, fishing, whatever. The membership side, all you're doing is you're paying a monthly fee, very small fee. You can choose what you want. There's 2 levels. And basically you're going to get extra content just for members. Gives you a couple of perks and things like that, and it's a way to support the channel. It does not change the channel in any way. If you're a subscriber, you're a subscriber. Whether you're a member or not, it makes no difference. If you want to have a look at it, there's a join button below, just below the video, right next to where the subscribe button is. You click on that and it'll tell you about it, and if you want to, you can make your choices. I'll also put a link in all the videos in the comments so that you can just click on that and it takes you to the special. This is what it's about. Just wanted to clear that up. I think a lot of people got a little concerned. I'm not going anywhere. We're here. And so are the knives, Mary and the cottage. You all be safe out there. I've got so many cuts and bruises from doing the tree stuff. Man. Anywho, thanks for watching. Always appreciate it. And we'll see you again soon.